chance to come back and speak to you again. You know, Kay mentioned that I serve at American Family Association. I am the Director of Issue Analysis, and if I'm interviewed by the media, they want my title, and so I have to make it very clear. It's not Director of Issues Analysis, it's Director of Issue Analysis, and I say it because the folks at AFA can only trust me with one issue at a time, so I got a limited capacity. Now, I wanted to chat with you about several things in the time that we have here together. You know, because one of the things that we want to talk about is members of the Tea Party. And I helped, when I was in Idaho, I helped organize the very first Tea Party event in the state of Idaho on Tax Day in 2009. It was just about exactly 2 years ago. This day, we had the first Tea Party event in Idaho, and I helped organize that thing and recruit speakers for it. One of our first speakers that day, I'll never forget this, was a man from Hungary. And he was our first speaker, and the reason we had him speak was this. He got up and said, look, this was right after our president had fired the president of General Motors, had virtually taken over a private auto company in the United States. And this individual stood up and he said, you know, the reason that I left Hungary was to get away from that. And now I'm here in the United States. I came here for freedom, for liberty, and now I see the same things that ate my country alive starting to happen in the United States. And it concerns me greatly. So I think the Tea Party movement is very, very important in the American political stage right now. In fact, you know, people talk about a third party, and I would suggest that we already have three parties in the United States. We have the Democrats, we have ruling class Republicans, and we have citizen class Republicans. And the Tea Party belongs to, by and large, to that third group, citizen class Republicans. In fact, and not everybody that's a supporter of the Tea Party belongs to the Republican Party, and there's a reason for that. The Republican Party, particularly the ruling class Republicans, aren't conservative enough for a lot of Americans. You know, I think the myth out there is that you have Democrats over here, you have Republicans over here, and then you have all these independents in the middle. And that's why they're independent, because they're more conservative than the Democrat Party, and they are less conservative than the Republican Party. And I would suggest that the reality is probably this. You have the Democrats over here, you have the Republican Party over here, and then you have independents on both sides of the Republican Party. You have some independents, maybe the Conservative Party they think is just too conservative for them. But I believe there are a lot of Americans that are independents because they are more conservative than the Republican Party. And they look at the way in which the Republican Party has handled itself and they say, look, this party has a nice platform, and what I read in their platform represents my values. I share those values, but I don't see the Republican Party willing to defend those values in the public arena. So they don't really speak for me. And that's why I think they've been drawn to the Tea Party, because the Tea Party does represent the values that they hold very dear. You know, one of the things I said last year, and I'll say it again